I'm Tony Fischer from the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Organisation. That's the acronym is CSIRO in Canberra, Australia. My project here started with an invitation to talk to a World Food Security meeting in FAO exactly 2 years ago. And I got together with a couple of colleagues and put together a paper focusing on what's happening to crop yields, because a lot of these food security meetings are full of economists working with all sorts of projections, particularly on the demand side of things and policy, and they often make quite simplistic assumptions about what's happening to crop yield, but essentially the supply side is driven by crop yield, where we don't anticipate a large increase in land crop area because there just isn't the land, or we don't really want to plough up the forests. The progress over the last 40 years, during which time population doubled, is entirely due to increased crop yield. So the really big issue on the supply side is what's happening to crop yield. Having made that presentation with my colleagues in FAO, we collected so much information, and the issue of food security was obviously still on the agenda, that we decided we'd put it into a book. I'm about 70% through the book. My co-authors don't have as much to do. They've got a couple of chapters each, and they're halfway through their chapters, I hope. And we could finish it in the next 2 months with a bit of luck. The world food security debate has intensified, and interest in what's happening to crop productivity, crop yield, is even greater now, I think, than it was a couple of years ago. This means that there's quite a lot of papers and the odd book coming out on the subject. In particular, they often go off about climate change, which I think is an issue, but not the major issue over the next 20 years. It's very slowly, it's something that's happening slowly, and the crunch in world population is going to come in the next 20 or 30 years. They often get carried away with the potential for molecular biology and genetic engineering. I think it has possibilities. It's already achieved a lot, but it's not going to do much to crop yield itself per se. It has helped with insect resistance, it's helped with herbicide resistance. Hopefully it'll come along and help with nutritional value of the products and with disease resistance. But I think we'll make a strong point in the book that you better not hope for any magic bullets in terms of intrinsic yield. The residency program has certainly given me more time to focus on the topic of my book, because when I'm back at CSIRO in Canberra, there are without a doubt many more distractions in the office and at home. Having said that, I'm not sure that it's all positive, because you find you're writing and thinking about more things than you probably need to be putting down on paper, and it's moving more slowly than I expected. The small drawback is that you don't have everything at your fingertips, your old books and the reprints, even though I bought a whole heap of stuff on memory sticks and things like that, and you can Google quite a few things these days and make some progress. But I notice I'm leaving gaps to be followed up when I get back home. With respect to interactions with the other people, it's a bit early. I'm just in my first week. In a sense, it would be good if everybody could deliver their subject material in the first day they arrive, but that would be impossible, since everybody arrives more or less at the same time. So the ones that deliver early, I think, have an advantage, that there's more opportunity for spontaneous feedback. But I noticed today at lunchtime already I can't resist talking about my subject, so I'm starting to get questions from people which help me think about things. The other night, when you had these people on from your various offices here for the reception, I mean, I got into a very hot debate with a couple of your people out of Bangkok or one of the other offices. I got all the standard negative views on modern agriculture that reminded me how I need to try and clearly debunk those things, because without modern agriculture, there's no way the world's going to feed itself. You can't go back to organic farming all of these other warm and fuzzy ways of producing food.